Hello everyone, it's Team Berk Avenue, I'm Eric. I recently went to Universal's Epic Universe. I had one day there and I was able to get on every ride. I've already made a guide on getting all the rides in one day, but now it is time to rank them all. This is just based on my opinions and preferences, spoilers for queue footage but no on-ride footage, and I highly recommend you check out my individual reviews of all the rides after this video is done. With all that out of the way, let's jump right into the ranking. Starting from the bottom, number 11 is Dragon Racer's Rally in the Isle of Berk. It's not a bad ride, but it's the least interesting one to me. It's a thrilling flat ride, and typically I love this sort of thing, more than a dark ride in fact. But this ride is not as thrilling as it maybe could have been. This ride model has wings on either side that you can control and use them to flip upside down up to 50 times if not more. On this particular version of the model, I was not able to flip even once. And I was really looking forward to being able to. So it's kind of unfortunate, but the ride is not without strengths. The queue is nice, it's a beautiful ride to watch from off-ride, and it does give you some pretty good views of the park when you're on it. If you want a mild flat ride, this will be very good for you. You don't have to try to flip, just enjoy the scenery. But for me, it falls short of what it could have been. Number 10, Constellation Carousel in Celestial Park. It's a carousel, but there are some unique strengths to it. It doesn't have the standard mechanisms of a carousel, leading to some more fun animal designs, a gorgeously themed ceiling, and additional degrees of rotation that you don't normally get. You'll be facing backwards at certain points on the ride, and that's a lot of fun. There are also different music tracks for this one, though I do find them to vary greatly in quality. My particular ride was not nearly as fun as one that went before mine. But still, while it is a carousel, it is one of the best carousels out there, so it's pretty good for what it is. Number 9 is Curse of the Werewolf at Dark Universe. This may seem low for some, but this is without a doubt the most frustrating ride on here. I highly recommend you watch my full review of this ride to truly understand how big of a misfire it was. I like roller coasters the most out of any type of ride. This one is just kind of okay. It's a spinning coaster with very little spinning, and save for the fun middle section, there wasn't that much of note to me. It's fine, but the theme, which typically can elevate a Universal roller coaster, is what kind of brings this one down. The theming is not that impressive on its own, but above all, it's poorly thought out. There's very little connection to the main antagonist of the werewolf unless you already know about the classic films. And then I did a little research to learn about the classic films, and I find it to be an even less faithful adaptation than I originally thought. An unthemed coaster would have been better in my opinion. Still, it is a roller coaster, so it's not the worst, but it kind of annoys me to no end. Number 8 is Yoshi's Adventure in Super Nintendo World. This ride is very slow, low stakes, and has an aimless story, but it's still very good at what it sets out to do. The scenery is beautiful. The many Mario enemies you come across all look great, and you also get some overlooks of the gorgeous Super Nintendo world. I also think the music choices here are great, especially in that final scene, and this ride just has plenty of charm to it. There isn't that much else to say about the ride. It is kind of made for babies and very, very small children can get on this one, but that makes it great for the whole family, and if you're a Mario fan, I think it'll be a must. Number 7 is Fire Drill in Isle of Berk. My favorite of the lower echelon rides in the park. Like Yoshi's Adventure, there are some great physical sets, but the interactive elements are much stronger here. You get water cannons, and can spray them not only at targets that have some pretty cool effects attached to them, but also at other riders. Therefore, you will likely get wet, but if you can get past that and enjoy water rides in general, this is a good one. The story is very simple but well constructed and further adds to the competitive nature of the ride, and the ride just feels like a very complete experience. I do prefer the mechanics of other splash battles by the same manufacturer, but that's a very minor critique. I find this one to be a very fun time. Number 6 is Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge in Super Nintendo World. A great ride for sure, and it could have placed up to 3rd place honestly. But I did go with the bottom of the high tier rides due to the augmented reality gameplay not blending with the physical sets very well. But this ride has its moments, the ideas are there, and in general, I do love this ride. These sets are stellar, some of the game mechanics really do work, and the finale is one of my favorite scenes of any dark ride ever. There's some magical moments here. It's not quite the masterpiece it could have been, but some of the shooting elements can be very fun, And if you're a Mario fan, or just a dark ride fan in general, you should find plenty to enjoy here. It's really darn good. Number 5 is Harry Potter and the Battle of the Ministry in the new Wizarding World area. This is another of my spicy takes. The prevailing consensus seems to be this is the best dark ride in the world, and I do get the appeal. These screens are maybe the best of any dark ride, and they blend with the sets to make every scene seem bigger than it actually is. The ride is grand in scale, and the mix of virtual and practical technology crafts some very creative and memorable scenes. The ride also has some funny moments, mainly thanks to Imelda Staunton reprising her role as the villain Dolores Umbridge. Unfortunately, as I explained in my detailed half-hour review of the ride, the flaws in this ride are abundant. The highlights are abundant too, but there are several things about the ride that bring it down for me, both in terms of entertainment and immersion. The biggest critique I have is that the ride feels like you're just watching things play out, and you're not ever a part of the action. Even when characters interact with your vehicle, it just doesn't work the way it's supposed to. However, this can't be how everyone feels based on it being called the best dark ride in the world, so if the ride interests you, go for it. It's still great as a whole, but far, far from my favorite in the park. Number 4 is Hiccup's Wing Gliders in Isle of Berk. This family coaster is borderline perfect. I'm partial to thrilling roller coasters, but this contends with many of those thanks to the wonderfully whimsical atmosphere of the ride. With excellent pacing on the main coaster sections, the use of music from the films, and a scenic journey around the gorgeous area of the park, I was smiling the whole way through. I've compared the ride to Hagrid's before, and I might even prefer the coaster sections here due to how fun they are. My one criticism, the onboard audio has dialogue that's very hard to understand, but this is otherwise an extremely enjoyable experience. Number 3 is Minecart Madness in Super Nintendo World. This is the last of my very unusual takes. I haven't seen anyone put this in their top 5, let alone top 3. But this is my favorite of the A-tier rides that plays from 3 to 6, because it is the most fun and most beautiful out of them all. If Hiccup's Wing Gliders has the atmosphere of a journey, Minecart Madness has the atmosphere of a party. The ride's music is jazzy, and the sound effects on the ride are cartoonish as you traverse the track. The illusion of jumping over missing track is not always perfect, but most times, it really works and it looks great. The dark ride scenes are also very fun here. You get to see so many characters and environments, kinda like the Mario Kart ride, but in the form of a roller coaster. The pacing of the ride is not like any other coaster I've ever done, but it's still a super fun experience, elevated by being one of the most visually stunning coasters I've ever seen. For my money, this is the most beautiful ride at Epic Universe, likely all of Universal Orlando. It's not for everyone, but I think plenty of you will have a blast on it. Number 2 is Monsters Unchained: The Frankenstein Experiment in Dark Universe. I've made it clear that I prefer coasters to dark rides, but Monsters Unchained is the rare dark ride that surpasses some great coasters, including the previous 2 on the list. You've likely already heard how impressive the ride is. Excellent use of a renowned ride system, several animatronics that are among the best ever, and a highly detailed and elaborately themed experience from start to finish. However, well-made animatronics are not enough for me to like a dark ride. The ride has to be creative and entertaining, not just lipstick on a pig. Fortunately, Monsters Unchained stands above most dark rides, with very well put together sequences, an engaging story that feels like a grand crossover for the Universal monsters, and memorable characters and dialogue which I detail in my separate review. The pre-show is a highlight of the ride for me, just because of how well it establishes the characters and gives them distinct personalities. My only complaint, this ride's ending is very rushed and confusing. Apart from that, the ride is creative, technically impressive, and above all else, a very fun time. But number 1 is Stardust Racers in Celestial Park. Being a fan of thrilling roller coasters, this was a very cut-and-dried pick for the winner. This ride offers aggressive airtime, a great sense of speed, and surprisingly powerful launches that certainly satisfy a thrill seeker like myself. But there's much more to the ride than those thrills. It offers an experience unlike any other roller coaster I've done, thanks to the racing. When you ride this, you race alongside another train and constantly cross over the other track. The highlight of the ride is the Celestial Spin, a breathtaking inversion where the trains go upside down over each other one at a time. This layout is perfect, further boosted by epic music and a stylish appearance, especially at night. Stardust Racers is satisfying for a roller coaster enthusiast like me, but it's an otherworldly ride experience that even those who are iffy on roller coasters will likely find magical. No doubt, my favorite ride at Epic Universe. Thank you for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this ranking. Please comment down below your thoughts and any questions you have, and check out all of the Epic Universe reviews already on my channel. Subscribe for more theme park videos. I'll see you next time.